Hey, Mark.
Hi, Jeremy.
Mark, Kendra, Carl, hi.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Kendra.
Hello.
Hello.
Probably help if my volume was up. I know Brad's not joining us. He's got some training stuff going on. Never heard from Luke, and I think Tom acknowledged Kendra's email, so I'm assuming he's on.
Last I
Kendra,
heard,
it's
yes.
it's your daughter's birthday?
Yeah, she's 11 today.
Oh, big day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an age.
Yeah.
Remember it
Is
well.
she going on 21 like my daughter is?
Yes. Very much so. Actually, more like 17.
Yeah,
Because we're-
okay. Yeah, maybe
we're
20.
not-
Yes,
Right.
21
Not
little
quite
mature.
21. Yeah.
not quite 21, but yeah. My daughter's been going on 17 for the last, I would say, let's see, she's 10 years old, so probably 4 years at least. So
Yeah.
all right, Luke, hi. How
you doing?
Tom here. Maybe he's coming. But we do have a quorum, and you know, Carl, if you want to take this this meeting, you're welcome to do it.
All right. Let's give Tom maybe the 2-minute warning and then,
Okay.
because I'm pretty sure he's going to be here. So,
Okay. I'm good with that.
Do you have any flooding at the course today?
A lot of, not flooding. I mean, more runoffs, right? So the good news is there was minimal damage to the new stuff that was that's out there. I was a little nervous when we did the course tour around 1 o'clock, but it seemed like it was fine. So, but boy,
That's
it came down
It came-
hard.
it came down
Hard.
hard. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's always
Bunkers.
fun. Oh, go ahead.
bunkers are all like just washed out. There's just a lot of standing water. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say, Kendra?
I was gonna say I was out there last Sunday and then I saw you there, Jeremy, on Friday. And it's fun to see I know you guys are probably there much more often, but it's always fun to see like the ropes had moved on what had been closed
Right.
in
Yeah.
a week, so it was like, oh, I can play from where I couldn't play last week. So
Right.
it's kind of fun to see the progression.
Yeah, we are definitely in the process of opening more and more things up. So that's exciting stuff for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So
Yeah. And we were all
And I-
like, is that the tee box on 8 or is that when we were standing up and there's the area down below that wasn't there a week ago? We're like, oh, the tee box is coming back. And
yep.
yeah, it's fun.
It is
Yeah,
fun. It's
and-
looking great.
And I tell you, this rain, it's a curse and a blessing, obviously, but this will help the sod growth out. It's gonna be good. It's just more or less I was worried about all the washouts, but held up
Yeah.
just nice. So we're gonna do our walkthrough tomorrow, actually, with the architect and the builder, and so we'll do our checklist and I believe it should get turned over to Pleasant View Golf Course very, very soon. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, Carl, it's 6:03. What are your thoughts?
I think we should call the meeting to order.
Love it.
And I see there's no one from the public on the line here. So I think we close out that part of the meeting, right?
Yep.
And the approval of the minutes is our next on the docket. So from the July meeting. So do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from that meeting?
This is Mark. I'll make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion at all? Everything okay? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay. The motion to approve the minutes has passed. Okay, so Jeremy, it's on to you in the agenda items. Golf
Yeah, so I
operation
think-
first.
I think we'll casually bump number 2 and I
Oh, that's
think
right.
3. And Kendra, if that's cool, can we bump number 5 up? I need approval.
Approval from everyone? Yes, a motion to consider.
Actually, I apologize. The big ones for me are 4 and 5.
Okay. Okay, I will make a motion that we move agenda items 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the top of the agenda. If we need a motion, if you feel like we need a motion, Jeremy?
Hold on one second. Okay, do you want to talk about 3? Is that what, do you want to, is that,
Oh, I thought that was, sorry, I'm trying to, of course, everything. So I just gotta pull up the agenda again. I thought it was 2 and 3.
well, 2 is Pleasant View Road and course renovation
Oh,
update. That's
I mean,
you
Cause they
you don't
kind of
need
go,
that.
no, that's fine. We can do 3. You said 3, 4, and 5?
3, 4, and 5, yeah.
Yeah, 3, 4,
Okay.
5. I mean, we can, if you want to officially move them forward, fine, but
It doesn't matter to me.
okay.
I just,
Well,
I
let me-
just didn't know how long the financial update would take, so I wanted to.
Well, actually, so it will, financial update, I've got July numbers, so I got them today. And so I think I should go through them. So it would take a little bit longer. So why don't we just jump to 3 really quick?
Okay.
So, and we'll just do this casually, guys. I think it's fine.
Okay.
So 3, so safety, so Brian and I met, had a really positive conversation with him on site, maybe, I don't know, a week and a half ago or something like that. He sees where the concerns are. He sees opportunity for improvement. You know, I think I sent him a very rather detailed email, I would say, with some pictures and some suggestions. And I think the biggest thing that the city needs to ask itself is what is this place? Is it a bike park? Is it a walking trail system? What is it? Because it is frankly a utility line, and that's it right now. And I think they need to answer a couple questions internally. But they are open to some ideas as far as helping us out and giving some of these maybe non-golfers some more directions versus just making it a free-for-all. I think that's my summary in a nutshell. And Kendra, if you wanted to, I don't know if anybody had anything else to say on this, but it was very positive conversation with Brian.
Okay, and I think the only thing that I wanted to add is I was confused about, and I meant to respond to your email and mention this to Brian, but I was confused about the use of the driveway. I was thinking it was going to, I had initially thought it was about the path on the north side of the whole driveway. And then for some reason I was thinking about when you come off the bridge connecting to the multi-use path that's along the roadway. But there's no longer any concern about that, right?
No, that's included with the concern. The concern is the location of where it dumps onto our driveway. Because ironically enough, the day before I was supposed to meet Brian, actually the night before, a truck was coming this way, a car was going that way, and a biker was pinned against the fence, right? You know, like literally he had nowhere to go. And it was right at that corner. And I was able to take a photo, and I showed Brian. It was like blurred out. I'd show you guys, but it's really blurred out. Because it was like such a last minute situation. I'm going, oh my gosh, this is like the scenario that I'm talking about here. And I showed Brian, and he completely gets it. But no, Kendra, that what you just said is just part of the concern of the whole system. Yeah. Okay,
because I was looking at your pictures and I was like, oh, there's nothing about what I was thinking. Because I knew the top part was the concern, but I was more, okay, so it is the whole thing.
It is, sorry.
And I apologize if I'm talking across that. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay,
No,
so
I
I'm glad
actually
that Brian was there and got to take a look.
I should have added more context to that for you guys, because I was just kind of looping you in on a conversation that Brian and I had. And he just wanted some spots for signs if they were to move forward with signs. So that was per his request is all.
And did he mention that he would be moving forward with the signs? Does he have a good idea now and we'll get those taken care of? Or is that something we need to formally request? Or did he give any indication on that?
he didn't give an action, hey, this is what I'm gonna do at this time.
Okay,
But he did say that he's gonna take, he wanted the information first and then he's gonna do some more homework.
okay. Yeah, and just so you know, also everyone on the committee, I had met with Brian before Jeremy had met with him to just make sure that this was on his radar as well. And I met with Mark Opitz just before Brian and Jeremy had the walkthrough out at the golf course. And Mark knew of the situation, knew a little bit about the history, but didn't. Where we're sort of running into the question is which department is responsible for this path? Because there was a question of, is it parks? Is it public works? Is it, sort of where is it the golf court? Like, who's responsible for coming up with the solution? So we're still figuring out where we need to go with this and the players at play here. So
I've got an answer for you.
well, you do now. Good.
That was transferred out of golf course funds, so golf course is not responsible for that. From my
Okay.
understanding, it is parks.
Okay. And that was my
The golf course back.
that
in,
was
I
my
think,
initial understanding too, but I think there was some confusion about that. So I'll make sure that I continue to follow up with Kylie. Kylie, this is a really busy time of year for parks, but it's also budget season. So I'll make sure that I reach out to her again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so maybe some backstory to this. In 2017, I think it was 2017, it might have been 2019. I'm getting my years maybe a little bit crossed here, but we were concerned as an entity going, why are we paying for this? So we were paying down debt for land that was being used by non-fee users, non-enterprise fund users, right? And so what the city and Pleasant View Golf Course decided was, okay, everything south of the trail system is Pleasant View Golf Course. Everything north of the trails, and this is when the Erdman was it was whispering that Erdman was coming. So everything north of the trail system would be going to a different entity within the city. So the city of Middleton transferred what the value of that land was deemed at the time over to another department, so that Pleasant View Golf Course was not financially responsible for something that they didn't ask for.
Okay. Okay. So that's still, even though, okay. So that would make sense why it was part of why the grant was pursued in the first place. So we'll just, okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yep. Any other
So
questions on that?
Yeah, is there any specific next step, guys?
No. Remember I mentioned that Brian, he didn't give me an exact next step. It's on, the biggest thing that we've done is we got it on the right person's radar, right? And
That's
let's
what I
just,
thought.
we've been managing this. I've been dealing with this for what?
Years.
At least 10 years now.
Yeah.
It's okay. I just want a new group of Brian is new, Kylie's new. I wanted new people to understand what the pain was, right?
Yeah.
And we're now on record saying we have concerns over the location of this trailhead or this dumping essentially from the bridge onto our driveway. We have been publicly saying that this is not a good solution. And that's really what I'm looking for. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So I think right now, guys, I appreciate the full court press. Let's back to half court and let me and Brian and whomever the department heads need to figure it out. Because I am willing to have a meeting and make this the best solution for the city of Middleton as a whole, while protecting Pleasant View Golf Course.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Kendra, for your follow-ups on this. And thanks for the summary, Jeremy. It's very helpful. Great. Shall we move on to, I think we're going on to number 4, right?
Yeah. So I think, you saw Brian's memo in there. Yeah, hopefully Brian's memo was okay. So I truly genuinely believe that Becky Halverson is her classification is underclassified, given her responsibilities. So when I am off property, Becky Halverson is really the person that's in charge for all departments. I believe she's currently at a class 7. We're just looking to bump her up to a class 10. It does fit within the budget. She's finishing her level 3 of the PGA, PGM schooling or education. And this is a big ask of of being at this classification that you have to be at a particular level in regards to the PGA, PGM program. So our recommendation is that we would move forward as of January 1, 2024, under the assumption that she does finally pass her exam.
That to me sounded great. I read through it and it looked very well documented and well done by Becky. So yeah, it looks great, Jeremy.
So I'm requesting or recommending approval to the personnel, finance, et cetera. So I think it'd be good to
have
get
a motion and
Yep.
move it. Okay. So
now Brad, looks like Brad is on, but he doesn't have his video on, and that's fine. He just can't vote
okay.
unless he wants to turn it on. But Kendra, does he have to have it on the whole time?
I mean, it'd be nice, but
Hey, Brad, are you on? Carl, take it.
Hang on. Ah,
Brad just doesn't want us to see him.
I can appreciate doing it from
hey,
your phone.
sorry about that. My new phone. I'm trying to get used to it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, shall we, do I hear a motion for the, for the position of head golf professional? I wasn't sure how to word it, so you can word it best for me, someone.
And
I think
Jeremy, you're not looking for
recommend-
approval from us. You
Recommend
just want a
approval
motion.
as directed by the Human Resource Director and Director of Golf or General Manager,
If I may, it'll just be,
Go ahead, Ken.
it'll be that you recommend to the council that they approve position reevaluation and reclassification.
Okay.
So Kendra, do you want to move on that?
I'm actually going to abstain because I'm actually on finance and personnel.
Well, then we don't have.
Don't have quorum.
Yep.
Okay, I can vote if we don't have quorum. I will approve then. I will move that the golf committee recommend to council the position and reevaluation, or excuse me, the position reevaluation and reclassification of head golf professional from a level 7 to a level 10.
And is there a second?
I'll second. Brad will second.
You
Thank
can't,
you, Brad.
you
I
can't.
can't.
Oh, we can't. Oh, that's
Dang
right.
This is Luke. I'll second.
Thank you, Luke. All those in favor, say aye.
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 So Brad, your vote doesn't count. It's 4-0. Brad, is essentially you're not in this meeting. So, I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, you got to have video on.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, to vote, you're welcome to listen and everything, but in order for you to vote, you have to have your video on.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to turn it on?
And
to
I do
vote?
believe
Do
it
we
only
need
has
the
to be
fifth
on
vote?
when you're voting.
Do you want me to turn the vote on for the fifth one?
There we go. Okay. Do we want to retake that vote and then have Kendra?
I'm
Yes.
okay either way.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Brad, what's your vote?
Yes. Yay.
Hey,
There
Luke,
he
was that you that second?
Yep.
I
Luke
originally did,
seconded.
yeah. Oh, Luke seconded, yeah.
Luke seconded. So that would make it 5-0 then, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, can we, Kendra, how you doing on time? You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let me, did I send you guys the budget? Please tell me I did.
Yes.
Yes, it was attached.
Good. Okay. So let me do capital here really quick. Okay, so here's, there's no real big updates on capital except for some numbers that we got in regards to the maintenance building addition. That's what we're looking at. Okay.
Okay.
The other thing that we've got to decide on is this practice facility master plan versus golf course master plan and capital reserve study. Now, the reason why I say this, here's the thing, capital, I talked to Bill Burns this morning and we believe that the capital reserve study should go under operating expenses and not be a capital expenditure. And so I'll show you where I'm going to put that, but that's roughly 10K that will move from capital over to operating. Nothing will go in place of that, just so that you're aware, okay? The golf course master plan would be a complete overview of where do we need to go, kind of like the capital reserve study, just in terms of the golf course, right?
Mhm.
Bunker renovation, tee box stuff, tree removal, tree addition, all of these things would take place over the master plan, and that also includes the practice range facility. Now, the practice facility master plan, that one right up here, okay?
Mhm.
That is just for our architect to take a look at how can we build a practice or refine the practice facility without putting nets up to keep people safe on 1 lake and 3 lake.
That seems really low. Is it really gonna come in that low?
Yeah, that's just yeah, that's I mean, did I show you the quotes or no?
I'm just impressed. That's good.
No. Here.
I don't recall seeing the quotes, Jeremy, but maybe you
Yeah, I
did.
don't either.
Yeah, I think I didn't put those in there because it's not something that we need to necessarily vote on or approve the agreement. It was just,
Right.
I kind of want to get your thought as to what, what direction should we go with here, right? Is it just the practice facility, or is it the overall whole thing, you know? And maybe this is a bigger conversation than just this, but let me show you. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Yes.
cost of services, 6,800.
Wow.
got it. Okay.
Here's the breakout, right?
Mhm.
And then this would be the whole facility. And my recommendation would be this, guys, right? My recommendation would be budget for that 25.
Mhm.
And if we as a group decide to do the 6 or 8 or the 6,800, okay, we don't spend the money, right?
Right.
That would be my recommendation, and here's why. All right, so now we're in my budget, right? At least operating, excuse me. So I would probably put the line item right at this one, 164, that professional services. Okay, so I would increase that roughly 25K, okay, or 24K, let's just say 2,300 or 23.5 maybe. Okay. So then you see this net surplus deficit right here.
Mhm.
Remember, our goal is 100. Well, if we didn't have the maintenance, or like what I'm thinking, that's where we would be at with the master plan, and we don't have the capital reserve study in there, so we need to add another 10. Right, so we go 33,500. And that puts us very close to what we always are looking for.
Right.
That 100K that would go into the capital reserve fund on an annual basis.
Mhm.
That includes our TIF payment. That includes pilot. All right. You follow so far?
Yes, following it.
Okay, so then if we did that, now I need to take capital. You can't see what I'm doing here, but so we'd be looking at 878,553. Bear with me, sorry. Oops, sorry, geez. 878,553. Okay. So that's what our numbers would look at if we go with geez. Too much stuff here. If we go with this plan here for capital reserve.
The capital plan. Okay, got it.
No, that's not right. 871. Bear with me. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, do we disagree? Do we talk to me?
That all makes sense to me, Jeremy. The moving that around, the total amount for the year. And it puts us right about where we want to be at about $100,000 for the capital reserve. Other thoughts?
I think it makes sense.
I saw Luke shaking his head. Yes, that sounded good. So yeah. Yeah, I think it does too.
Okay, anybody else? I mean,
Those aren't big numbers. I mean, those are just gonna come out of operations, the master plans and the reserve study and all that. I mean,
and the thing is we don't have to move forward with it, right? It's just the capital reserve study is something that you all as a group have, and I agree with it, that we need to update it, right?
mhm.
Right.
We're working on a master plan for the clubhouse of, okay, what do we do with EV? What do we do with some of the concerns we got around the clubhouse? But we don't have a master plan for the golf course, right? And we don't have to do the master plan this year. We can wait until, or I mean, not this year, next year. We can wait until the following year if we wanted to. It's just, I think it's something that this committee needs to get on board, especially when we get out of, when we're done paying debt.
Right.
Okay, this is what needs to take place. This is our master plan, right? And I think it'd be really wise for us to look at this. I really do.
I'd like to know that sooner rather than later. So I don't have any problem with, I mean, like, they're not big dollars. They're big dollars, but they're not really big dollars in the budget.
We meet our budget,
Yeah.
theoretically speaking, and then I'll explain here in a second. But let me share really quick with you. And Kendra, please, if you need me to expedite something, let me know.
Yeah, I have a few more minutes.
Okay, so here is the cash flow, right? All right, so let me change these numbers now because we're going to pay 113,062. Okay, that's pilot, right? Oh, shoot, wrong year. Jeez. So you can see, we're jumping up a little bit based on, and the city will like that,
Mhm.
right?
Based on revenue, right?
Yep. So then we're moving up to 450 back to TID,
Mhm.
which 2025 is our last payment, theoretically speaking, right? So now I need to move that number up a little bit. I need to move that number up to 571,753. What is it? Did I say 573?
Mhm.
Yep, that's right there. And that's because of the increase in what the maintenance building would cost, right? So there we go. That's our projection, right? So here's our projection cash flow at the end of this year. Projected cash flow at the end of next year. 2025, if we start getting uncomfortable with these, we can adapt, right?
Right.
As we get down below 500, we're starting to get a little thin. But that's kind of my vision. I don't know. And these are all these numbers all in here are all hypothetical, right? We don't go with EV, then we take that big number out.
Yeah. No, I like this year's budget. I think it lays the groundwork for what could happen over the next several years.
For the future, yeah.
And it's the first step. Like you said, if we decide that these plans, we don't like the look of them, then we don't do them, but you gotta.
Right. If it's a bad year, let's just say it's a bad year and we're going, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so then now let me go back to, okay, so does everybody agree with the capital? Do you need to see capital one more time?
No, I'm good with
Okay.
that. Guys,
I'm
you
good with that.
Okay, let me just zip through the operating really quick so you guys understand what you're approving.
Okay.
All right, so let me go into revenues. All right, so basically what I did is I look at trends, right? And you can see our projection as of this year. So we're projecting at roughly we'll just call it $3.6 million in gross revenue, with a projection of $3.7 million in expenses, and that I'll call it 3.8, and that includes our big payment to Golf Creations.
Right.
Remember, we were expecting a bigger loss than that. So that's a huge win, right? And that to be honest, I didn't even think about this. I didn't alter the cash flow based on that. And I think I shouldn't until the year's end. You know what I mean? So that cash flow statement that you saw does not reflect that.
Does not reflect what again, Jeremy? I'm sorry.
Well, so that cash flow statement that you saw does not reflect the higher gross revenues.
Oh, okay, got it.
And it doesn't reflect the higher budgeted revenues either. So I gave you kind of like a worst case scenario with that cash flow.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay.
But let me go back to the budget. Well, you probably didn't see the cash flows. But anyway, so this projection is pretty solid, right? I mean, we were budgeting for 3.
Right.
And that's what I'm projecting as of today. Now, full disclosure, July took a pretty big hit. We were about we'll call it 15% below last year's July, if not more than that. Yeah,
Huh.
you can see the trends from the golf construction for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, minus today, we're pretty on par with August of last year. So anyway, okay, so moving on. So what I did with right over here, like the budget for gross revenue, my feeling is if we can do this in 2023, we can do that in 2024. I think there's going to be some residual stuff going on with construction and people we got to start marketing the lake course back up right next year, because the lake course has got kind of a tarnished name due to the construction. I am seeing some trends. I'm seeing some trends of people going back to work. I'm seeing trends of the economy a little bit. We're getting pinched from golf outings. They're starting to try to really cut expenses. And that to me is a first sign of they don't have as much cash flow going on. So I do think that 2023, if we can do this here, I believe we can do it here. I really do. That's my thought, right? So I didn't want to put any growth because I'm still really unsure, frankly, of where the economy is going to go and where the golf industry is going to go now that people are going back to work. I started looking.
Vacations.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm taking vacations and traveling and.
Yeah, and Kendra, we see it.
Yeah.
I mean, we 100% see it. But anyway, so that's kind of where I got these numbers from. You can see that I'm a little bit higher than this year, right? Because I feel like there's some things in here that were like the practice range facility, for example, that's trended very well over the last 3 years, regardless. Like food income, frankly, the reason why this is a big under numbers because this sales tax number kind of skews things. So if I took this number out and that number out, here, let me do it for you. You can see we're ahead of, like budgeted for food and beverage. So I really feel like I've got this pretty fair. I'm not sitting there sandbagging the city going, oh, we're only going to do $3.3 million in 2023 and we pay pilot only on 3. I feel like that's a really good fair number for the city to budget off of for their pilot. So then expenses, as I mean, Kendra, this might be maybe more new to you. Like for example, if food revenue goes up, food costs need to go up, right? And we try to keep food costs at 33%, snack costs at 50%, liquor costs at 21%, beer costs at 25%, soda costs at 40%. So there's method to the madness, right? But if I increase gross revenue, then I need to increase the expenses. That's Becky's increase. Now, this is just a COLA increase based on part-time wages and like seeing some trends that we were at. So I mean, like we were in 2022, we were at 144K because of the busyness of golf. We just needed more help. And so I'm going off of trains of 2022's numbers and then with COLA. Okay. And again, if we go under that, great.
Right.
Retirement fine. Oh, these are all getting back to where we were. Okay. Before 2020. Remember 2023, it really kind of started narrowing down expenses. Driving range supplies, we got hit pretty hard with some things with unanticipated expenses, but we got to keep that thing humming, so I bumped that back up. Hard goods is based off of revenue, soft goods off of revenue, rentals that got bumped back up. Yeah, these are all things that just in line of where business would be. That is just a transfer of so it's our maintenance around the clubhouse for the landscaping.
Oh, okay.
That was just in a different line item. So clubhouse maintenance. Oh yeah, we're seeing way more things that are breaking in clubhouse. So we need to start pushing that back up. Utilities is in line with the trends. Same thing here for staff and food and beverage. This one here, that's a big one. We're starting to implement a better fairway program. Just being a little bit more proactive than where we were because of the situation that occurred last year with the fairways. So, and that's what we just added, right? Yeah. Thoughts?
Looks good. Makes sense, Jeremy. Thanks for going through that. And the key line items, nothing really came out and grabbed me when I went through it. And you addressed the ones that were the larger numbers that were bigger and the reasoning for them. So it all made sense to me.
Yeah, and another one that I should just make note of is this one here. This is reimbursed gratuity to the food. So those are tips received.
Say that again, Jeremy.
Those are tips received for the bar staff.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like when somebody offers a tip on a credit card, we pay those out, right? But the thing is it's revenue received. So you see it right here. So it's a wash.
Oh, yeah. I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I need to jump off. Is there anything else that we need to act on or?
I just would prefer a recommendation of approval to finance for this budget.
I'll make that recommendation or motion. I'm good with it. I've been through it pretty quite a bit over the weekend. No questions.
And as a second, I will second that if I can, because I've also gone through it, Mark, and I think it looks good.
Yep.
So we have the motion, we have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll jump on video and say aye.
There he is. Okay. So the ayes have it. So that's fine.
Kendra, are you good with it?
I'm good with it. I'm trying to figure out if I should vote on it or not, since I'm on finance. I'm good with the way it looks, though. I will vote that we send this forward.
Okay.
Well, so if it makes you feel better, Mark was he was the president of the finance committee and he always
Yeah.
voted things.
Okay, I was gonna ask you. Thank you.
Yes, that is true. I forgot about that, Jeremy. So yeah.
But ultimately, this is an advisory committee, right? And if Kendra, you guys change your hearts, then we've got to adapt. So.
Right. No, I think it looks good. I have no questions. I always appreciate having an accountant on the committee. It helps a lot.
So do
Does
I.
help, Mark.
But I think the numbers look good. I'm excited for the next year with the planning and seeing where this is gonna go.
Yeah, I am too. And Kendra, I know you got to pop off, but I really think that this committee here, this group of people, we have got an opportunity to shape the future of Pleasant View Golf Course, right? We've got one more year after next year, and meaning next year we need to start thinking about the future. And to Mark, to your point, 25K, yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's the right thing to do for the future. Because we're going to be in charge of this in 2026. We need to start making decisions that's best for Pleasant View Golf Course and the city of Middleton as an entire entity.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for sure. I agree. Well,
Same
thanks. Happy birthday to your daughter, Kendra. Thanks for popping
Thanks.
on.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Right
Thanks,
on.
Kendra.
Bye.
So, we got Brad still. He can vote. Okay, if like for our next meeting and to adjourn. So, Brad, don't hang up. All right. Hey, since we're on finances, bear with me, guys. Let me just zip through our updated financials, if that's cool. Okay, so I got these like maybe early morning today or mid-morning or something like that, but here are the updated numbers through today. Okay, so these are so we're in revenues right now.
Mhm.
I think what's important is just to understand that we've got this year versus last year to date. And year to date is through July 31st. So pretty good golf revenues, right? All things considered. Remember, I think we were projecting a 15 or 20% reduction. This is a 5% or 3.5 or something like that. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's not 15. Here's food and beverage. We're actually leading year to date. This is some miscellaneous income. I think it's important to note that this is part of the road land sale, things that were going on that we didn't get. But for some reason, we've got this massive chunk back in January for earned interest, which I'm not going to argue about.
No, I'm not gonna argue about it. It just seems kind of weird.
I don't disagree, but it was inputted by the finance department, and
Okay.
it'll be audited, and so. But here's where we sit, right? So, what's that big number? Oh, yeah, right there. Transfer in, this was also land sale. So if we take that number out, just for fun, that's where we sit year to year.
Right.
Not bad.
Yeah. No, I did the same thing. I pulled that number out because I knew that was something that, that skewed it. It's like, wow, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Yep, it's not bad at all. I think it's important to note with salaries and wages that we don't know when the pay period occurred and when it hit the funds versus last year. So don't get too excited about the fact that this one is over this one or these guys, right? So just be aware of that. Pro Shop. So you can see that we started really cutting down expenses here. This one again, we had some breakdowns. We had to buy some things. Our ball washer broke down. There was a couple other big ticket items that we had to buy on the fly. So that's the reason that's so high. Hard goods, I feel very good about. We're right on pace for budget. Same with soft goods. Rentals, we're doing really well. We're gonna have to replace some rentals. They're getting beat up, but that's okay. We're doing really well. Let's see, is there anything in particular that's hugely skewed? What's that one? Oh, yeah. So one of our agreements, I forgot, this was my fault. The software that we use to manage all the golf outings, the 5-year term was up and I did not budget for that. So that was my fault. So that's why that's a little bit off. But all in all, you can see that the expenses are definitely, you know, they're there. Cart lease payments. Clearly, I was delayed last year, or somehow that they didn't get cut. But we only pay 6 times a year, so this will end up being the same number, right? And it's the same contract, so don't. That's the same. Cart rentals down this year. Cart repairs are up. That is true. This is me transferring from a different account, so don't worry about that. But again, as you can see, nothing's like, I don't think anything's too alarming, at least when I went through it earlier today. Do you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, or am I just rambling for no good reason?
No, your ramblings are very helpful, Jeremy, so. Going
Let me
through it.
just, sorry, I'm just going through fertilizer. You can see we started implementing. This was we got to get this fixed, right? Because if we don't do this, then it directly affects our gross revenues, right? Coming in, people stop playing our golf course. So it's just, we have to do it. Have to. Some of this stuff is, oh, this is a big one here. Here's why. Right there, do you see that number?
Yeah.
We bought 5, so memorial benches that you guys see periodically jump on the golf course. To do one, they're kind of holding our feet to the fire. They used to give us like this nice deal. It was like $2,000 or $2,300 or whatever it was. It jumped up to like $6,000 a bench. And we're going, all right, this is ridiculous. And he said, the gentleman that we work with said, if you buy 5, we'll be able to do it for pretty much, it's not $16,000. I forget what the number was. It was like 13 or something like that. And then I just decided to move forward with that. Okay. And then what you'll see is right here, this number right there, that miscellaneous income, somebody bought a bench.
Oh,
So I was able to
that's
keep
part of it. Okay.
I was able to keep, so we're charging our costs. Okay. So I was able to keep, we have 4 more benches, in other words, for people to use in the future. So in other words, in the future, we won't have this big expense, at least for the next 4 benches. But that expense will get taken care of by the family. And then we do all the work internally as far as like getting a cement pad out. We incur those expenses out of a thank you for A, buying a nice bench, and B, paying for that nice bench. We take care of the rest. So there are some additional costs that go unnoticed, but that's just material costs right there that I was showing you guys. So I hope that makes some sense. What else? Is there anything else that I'm missing here? What's that one? Oh, dirt. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this is all pretty in line.
Jeremy, I just had a random question. Is the cart rental being down a trend or just randomly down?
Great question. Not as many golfers in some golf outings, which is alarming to me, right? And that's why I'm a little bit, I don't want to say I'm nervous for next year, but that's why I think we should just cool our jets a little bit. And then also with the costs, I've been trying to be very, very frugal when it comes to the golf carts. Let me give you an example. This Wednesday, we have a golf outing that's 168 players, okay? Instead of renting 10 to 20 carts for them, we close the tee sheet in front. Because what we found is that it was a service, and albeit an expensive service, to bring those carts in, and we were able to open up the tee sheet but it was a net loss in the end. And I think this year we're just trying to be very careful is all.
Makes sense.
This stuff shouldn't, nothing should be crazy except for that number right there. That is pilot.
Mhm.
And then over here, you can see credit cards just have not caught up last year because we have a new system, so I can see exactly what the charges are. So this is actually as of 7/31, whereas this is probably as of May 31. And that's the, I mean, and then we've talked about this. This is the downside. Like these, I don't know what our expenses are in real time. Right? I've got to kind of do it in the back of my head or have spreadsheets of my own when I submit receipts. And that's the downside with running this through the city, and there's good and bad behind it, and this is the bad, right? And so like right now, I have no idea what our expenses are. I mean, I've got an idea, but I don't have an exact idea of what our expenses are through August 14th. And then over here, I don't know when these expenses went in.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're missing some,
Right.
such as the cart lease payment, right?
Mhm. Right.
Which is why I don't really get too excited over the comparisons. I used to, and I've kind of learned not to get too excited over that. But the revenues tell us a good picture because I can get revenues instantly. Anyway, there you go. There's my golf financial update. Any questions?
No, thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, and finally, we got a more updated one. As you guys know, I rely on the finance department to supply the expenses, and I try to be patient. And yeah, you know, they do a good job. They really do. I want to be patient with them, and I know it's budget season, and I know that there's a lot of things going on. So, but I think that maybe, you know, like would be helpful, especially like maybe we start diving into this more quarterly, right? I don't know.
Diving
give
in
them a
further to the operational expenses, Jeremy? Is that what you're saying?
Well, to hold the finance committee or department's
Oh.
feet to the fire, saying, "Hey, we need financials," or maybe it's every other month. You know, I don't know what the solution is here, but it is nice knowing where I'm at, though, right? Because
Yeah.
I literally just found out where I was at this morning.
Oh.
Like it's nice for me to go through these and go, I don't know what would be a good one. Like these. It's like, okay, whoa, geez, what were those? I can't remember. Oh yeah, that's right. I had that POS system. I mean, I already knew that because golf outing expense is one that I keep track in my internal folder. Maybe so that's a bad one. Maybe that's a bad one. Utilities. Utilities is a great one because I don't see these bills because it comes to the city and then it's just coded accordingly. I mean, and I see all of this stuff, but as you can imagine, it's a lot of, those are a lot of receipts. We'd have to have our own accounting team.
Mhm.
Yeah. Between all of those, yeah, I can imagine.
Right, we would literally have to have our own accounting department that or like a person that maybe their part-time role is accounting if we wanted to keep this tracked live. Because I don't have time to do all that. And that's the good. The good is the city helps us out, right?
Right.
But we're also paying in lieu of taxes for that service now, which you could argue that maybe we should ask for a little bit more. Anyway, just some thoughts. Sorry.
No problem. Doesn't hurt to ask though, so that.
Any
definitely-
other thoughts or questions on that?
On the operations or financial, not here. Guys,
Nope.
It's been a while since we've gone through something that in depth, so I figured it was a good opportunity to do it.
good timing. Yep, for sure. Looking at the agenda items, Jeremy, I think we covered capital reserve in part of our discussion earlier, right?
Yeah, we really did. I mean, well, so golf, so we got golf operation financial update done.
Right.
Pleasant View Road renovation update. I have no major updates on PV Road. We're going through our walkthrough tomorrow for the renovation update.
So if anything comes up from that, that's of note, I'm sure you will let us know. So,
Yep. Yeah, and Carl, to your point, capital reserve, I mean, we did talk about that.
yeah, you have the whole spreadsheet on it. So, you know, we look years ahead.
I think maybe just a brief update is we're still, you know, in talks. So I got the agreements from Norby to think about the master plan, right? And we're still working through the initial steps of what the clubhouse master plan looks like.
Mhm. And
So no major
just
updates. There's really no major updates for a lot of them, except for really the financial, the budget, and Becky, you know.
right.
Common Council report, Kendra had nothing to report. She mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, she mentioned that in the message, I think. So, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything I'm missing, guys?
I don't think so, guys. I think
No.
we're good. We just, the only other thing on the docket was to talk about our future agenda items, number 8, which pretty much should follow the same kind of items we had this month.
I think what I'll do is we can lump safety concerns with golf operation. Unless you're preferring to keep that on the agenda, Carl?
I would prefer to keep it there just maybe for next month, Jeremy,
Okay, all right, that's
Okay.
fine.
just because we have a lot of moving parts on that right now. And a lot of folks have been in contact with you, me, Kendra, you know, Tom, we've all been in contact with different folks. So I think it'll be good to have that as a separate item.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll do so golf operation update, course renovation update, number 3 you said.
We don't.
6, 7, 8. Because we don't need budget.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't need Becky
Oh, we need Becky.
or recap classification. Sorry. Yep. Had part of me. Yeah. All right. Common Council report. Okay, good. Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay. And just one final point, I want to build a little on what Mark said before. I like having a plan. So I do really like the idea of having that master plan for next year, that we work on that next year, because I think you're right, Jeremy. We're looking ahead from that point forward, and I would like to see options and you know, some plan items, put that all together. So I'd like having that in the budget for next year.
Okay.
I think that'll make a lot of sense to do it.
I agree.
Okay.
I think if we have that capital reserve, right, and then we have the master plan, I just think that there's some good things that we can go off of going forward.
Correct. And things that we've talked about in the past too, that we can drop those into the discussion and see, okay, these are some of the options that we've talked about before. And to use a term that Luke has used often, to prioritize them, to say, okay, these are the, you know, things that we're looking at for the upcoming years, and kind of build where we're going to do them.
And, you know, I think it would be in our best interest to also understand where the city's vision is for the city as a whole, right? You know, and for us to get on board with, you know, some of the city's initiatives.
Right.
So if sustainability is a big push for the city as a whole, then then maybe we need to figure out a way to do that as opposed to saying, oh, no, that, it's too expensive. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but
But I do agree, Jeremy, we should factor that in, particularly because as a number of people have mentioned, we have a lot of new council members now. And so they'll be looking at things maybe a little bit differently than some others might have looked at things in the past.
well, true. And then also, I think it'd be nice to be aligned more, right? And to have some of that cohesiveness, and instead of, Pleasant View is this satellites, we had a meeting, actually, a department head meeting about a week ago or a week and a half ago, and it was a really good meeting, and they talked about the city is, and not just Pleasant View Golf Course, but I'm talking about all departments, right?
Mhm.
All departments work in these little silos, and they're really good at their own little silo. They're incredible, but it's time for the city to now bring our vision together. And I agree with that. And we've been saying that with the golf course for a few years now. It's just, we've been so focused on getting this debt handled. And that's why it's so exciting. I think it's really neat to be a part of this. And I hope that we can shape the right future for golfers and staff alike to come. So.
Well said. Okay, is there anything else we wanted to cover? I think we're close to adjournment. But
Setting next month's meeting.
that's why I say close to adjournment. Well, it looks good, guys.
So my vote would be the 18th.
18th. I mean, that kind of looks good for me too.
Let me just double check. There's no major golf outings that we're hosting. Yeah, let's go with the 18th. That looks good.
There's a chance I would miss that one, but I think we'd be okay number wise. So
Or do we do the 25th? Because in October, we really don't need anything unless, well, now let's stick with the 18th. Let's do the 18th. That's good.
Sounds good to me. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think we're looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Brad,
make
I
a
need
motion
you.
to adjourn.
Hold on, Brad, we need you.
I'm here.
Brad seconds the motion.
I will second that motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Sweet. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Financial heavy, but I think it was good.
It was very
That was
good.
good. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Have a good
for
one.
that, Jeremy.
All right, night, guys.
See ya.